In this video, we would be looking at how to generate images on ChatGPT, and there is a specific style called Ghibli, which has been making rounds across the internet, which we'll be looking at. Interestingly, ChatGPT has also gotten better at generating images, so we'll be looking across how the images are generated across different things, and let's get right to it. So this is one of the image generated, and this is like the Ghibli style, the Ghibli art. You could go ahead and just Google Ghibli art. It's just like this warm, friendly, nostalgic like character, similar to anime style kind of art, but yeah, it's somehow unique, quite unique, and it's distinct. So let's take a look at some of the things that have been generated so far. Just a quick heads up is that this works both for paid and on the free tier. So you could actually generate these images across the paid one if you paid for like the plus subscription, and also on the free tier. And it does take some time. Some of these images take like 3 minutes, some take 5, some take longer, but it has a very interesting generation style where it shows how the images are being generated while you wait. So as it's being generated, the upper part or the parts that is being generated keeps getting shown slowly, like vertically all the way down. So let's look at this one. I have this done on 2 different prompts or 2 different tabs, so just to show like the results across different prompt instructions. So the first one tested was like generate the image across. This was just like a simple, straightforward prompt, just generate an image in Ghibli style, and this is what it came up with. For this create image icon, if you click here, you would see like this create image, and it has been updated. And a simple prompt was just like, give me something simple, no specifications. I want to see how the model performs with no specification. And this is what it came up with. Nice, cool. You could give it a thumbs up. This will help the model improve, or thumbs down. And you could select one thing to test, which we will test towards the end of the video, is like making edits with this and how good or effective it is at following extra prompts or making edits. So this worked. This was okay. Give this like a very, very high score. Now the other one is putting an actual image and making the prompt a bit more detailed. And this was the image I tested. If you've seen my previous videos, this is the image for Catly thumbnail, and I wanted to see how this will come out in the Ghibli style. So this is the prompt. This is a bit more detailed with some little specification. This is just to test the model ability to follow prompt and see what came up. Now an error showed up, and this is like a popular error. Sometimes it times out, but other times it just says this error. And initially I assumed that this was due to maybe copyright, because there's a bit of back and forth with the Ghibli studio and ChatGPT claiming the Ghibli studio are not really happy. The folks are not really happy with how like this is being used by AI. So initially I thought maybe they've like sent some copyright stuff, but turns out that you could just regenerate or resend the prompt and it will come out. So it says this is the error, but it wasn't able to create this. So if you like to resend or adjust any details, so maybe that could just be like a request issue. But when I resend the prompt, this is what it came up with. To be honest, it did follow the prompt to a good extent. It maintained the eyes, it maintained the animal, so the animal still looks the same, the structure and everything is still cool, and the soft whimsical lightning, rich natural colors and signature gentle magical atmosphere was still there compared to the atmosphere in the original image. So this was also cool. The prompts, or the prompt following, like the instruction following, too, is quite good. Next was testing this with multiple images. So one thing was I want to see if it can take more than 1 images and 1 prompt and generate the result. So I uploaded this like a very vague image, and this is like another thumbnail image if you check one of our previous videos. So once I applied like the same prompts but a bit more detail, but not the same with the former one, just like a little bit of editing there, and this was what I came up with too. Also really nice. It seems to get the prompt, it follows the prompts well, and the edits are very, very nice compared to like the original one. So in the original one, like there's a tear here, there's some detail here. This is like a mountain or some snowy mountain. But yeah, you could see the snowy mountain is still kind of there, but the grass, this is a bit warm, and this is given like more anime style, which is nice. Now this is just specific. So this time no image, it's just like testing for specific stuff, testing how well like the model can like get extra details. Say if I want to generate or describe a painting, but this one now specific to a specific character. This is one of the favorite or famous character in Naruto called Itachi, and I wanted it to create that with horror and mystery. So this is what he also came up with. Not bad, but this is cool. So we would check another set of creations, another set of prompt testing that we did, that's in also like a different place. So let's check it out. Now, in this one, the same thing also applies, a random one. So you could see that it also, this is one of the error message you could get. So you don't have to get worried. You just know that, yeah, maybe a retry would work, and a retry also did work. So this is like specific describing a scenario. It also came out great. 2 to 3. So the idea was that the model can't really generate like distinct images. You know, when you use like flux or different text to image tool, you would see that they have this thing where you could like select multiple number of images to be generated. So that wasn't being displayed here. Maybe I'm also not checking the right place, but that also wasn't displayed here on the number of images it can generate. So create 2 to 3 captivating thumbnails, and what it just did was like it made like 2 separate images in like one image, but it split it, so that's not bad. So one thing would be how if it's possible to generate more than one, but at the same time these things are pretty expensive, so cost is like a big deal. And in a recent tweet, the CEO Sam Altman was complaining on how this feature is being heavily used and it's like costing them a lot of compute, which is like computer power. So this is also the same thing, a retry of trying to create 2 separate thumbnails also, but that also came out as a single image, and that was it. So this is also the same thing, but this one was trying to see how it can infuse different styles into one picture, and it came out well. This is just like a villain arc, when a villain was good, a villain was bad, and that came out in like a single image. Same thing applies here, dark theme style, seeing how the model does well with style prompting. And this is like specification. So what I was testing for here is ability to follow like specific specifications, and that also came out well and really nice. So overall, it's like interesting. It's a good style. Most of the things generated are also nice. One other thing is to see how changes can be made to this, and the ability to like follow extra details. So if this, say for this one, now if we decide to go back and make one of like the previous image dark themed, we want to see how editing that image is going to come out. Is it going to come out great or not? So we could pick this one and add like an extra detail, make dark theme, and just see how well it performs. And we could say and remove one character. So we have that, and we just would like to see what this comes up with. So it passes the original image, and we've added our extra prompt. So this is just to see how it layers the extra prompting or extra detail to it. And yep, so it's pretty fast. Sometimes it can also get pretty slow, and we have seen the different errors that you might experience. What you just have to do is like kind of retest the prompt to see what comes out of it. So it's not like whenever it's not working, you should get worried. You just need to actually retry the prompts if you can, or copy and paste the prompt again and retry. So like this does take some time. It takes like roughly 2-3 minutes. So this is the interesting showing or display. So while you wait, you see that the images that, or the section of the image that is being generated, you see it up there. So it's slowly, and this is a good way to keep users on the platform itself. So it should slowly shows you the version that it's being generated while other part comes out nice and slow. And yeah, that's like very interesting. You can also select it while you wait just to see. Yep. So you can see another issue came up here. I wasn't able to generate this, blah blah. Then what you can also do is you can resend that. So I don't think that applied to the original image, but yeah, we could see what it was coming up with. But one thing to point out was it wasn't necessarily removing an extra character, but it did make it dark themed. So that's like one thing to point out. I think this will come up with a whole different image, but that's just about that. That's pretty it for like the Ghibli style. Let me know how you folks tried the two, how you find it. Is it super helpful, and is it too slow, and how have you been able to use this? Just in a moment while we wait, we would like to see what this comes up with before we end the video. If it's still the original image that it applied, if it's still this original image that this prompt is being applied to, or this is completely something different. So looking at this, so this doesn't look directly related to this one. It looks completely different scenery and style. So yep, so it generated a whole different image. Doesn't look directly related, but that's pretty it for this video. Let me know how you guys find the tool. Bye.